Hi Cancer, welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your May 2021 tarot reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And as far as what's in front of us, for those of you new to the channel, we have a Celtic cross spread as always, and I also pulled an Oracle card and a Mudra card for you guys. We're actually going to start the reading off by rolling these astrology dice we have in front of us to get an idea of where your focus will be as far as that goes. So let's see what we get. Okay, so we have 8, so that's the 8th house, which for you guys is Aquarius. So we do have Saturn and Jupiter in that house, and Jupiter is actually going to move out of there in May, but that's that. All right, we have Venus. Now, Venus is going to be in Taurus for part of May, and then it's going to move into Gemini. So that's your 11th and 12th houses. And we have Capricorn energy, so this is your opposite sign. And we have Pluto in there, so we'll keep those in mind as we go along. Alright, we'll get started with the main situation position. We have the Four of Wands. So this is actually Aries energy here, and at the time I'm recording this is actually where the sun is right now, in those last 10 degrees of Aries, but for you guys, Aries is your 10th house of career and social status, so this could just be saying that you guys might be experiencing some success and victory around that area of life. For some of you, it can be around a relationship as well. But yeah, usually this is an energy that represents luck and expansion. Now, I will say for some of you, you might not be in this energy quite yet, and the reason why I say that is because in the challenge or obstacle position, we have the Ace of Swords. So the Ace of Swords usually represents having some kind of an insight around the situation or having some communication come through to you around the situation. So given that this is in a challenge position, I feel like you might not have gotten word of this yet. So, if there was some kind of a raise that you were going to be getting at your job, for example, you might not have actually heard from them physically that that's going to be the case. If this is around a romantic connection, right? Maybe the person hasn't asked you for that commitment just yet, or you haven't asked them. But yeah, that's what I'm seeing there. So, and then for those of you where it's just more of a matter of you trying to figure out what would bring you that happiness, could just be saying that the insight hasn't come to you yet. All right, in the foundation position, we have the Five of Pentacles, which is Taurus energy, which is your 11th house of groups and friendships. We have the Two of Swords, which is Libra energy, which is your 4th house of home, family, roots. The Death card, which is Scorpio energy, which for you guys is your 5th house, romance, creativity, children. And we have the Page of Cups. So, interesting mixture of energies here. With the Five of Pentacles, this could just be pointing to when we first get into Taurus season. So this could be another indicator, especially for those of you if this is around finances and career, that you may not have gotten word of the success or the victory yet, because you might be feeling like you're in this state right now. And, maybe trying to figure out, okay, well, what's the best way to get out of that? For example, maybe some of you have 2 different options on the table. With the Death card, there could be some, you might be feeling a nudge to actually leave one of those situations behind and put more focus into another. So it's an interesting mixture of energies here, but more than anything, this can be around romance too, of course, given that for you guys, Scorpio is your 5th house of romance, creativity, so there could be a romantic offer coming your way as well. So, if it's around a one-to-one relationship, it could just be saying that maybe at the time you might have had a falling out with this person, but there could be some communication coming through to actually try to get things back on track within that connection. For some of you, this could be you deciding if you want to go back around, right, or leave the connection behind. But given what I'm seeing there, I feel like for the majority of you, whatever the dynamic is, if it's someone coming to you or vice versa, looks like things will most likely be worked out. All right, yeah, that's all I see there. In the past position, we have the Page of Swords. So, for those of you who've been watching my channel for a while, I always point out that to me, the ace and the page are similar, almost like in a game of cards where you have an ace, and depending on the game, you could count it as a 1 or as an 11. Kind of the same concept there. With the ace energy, it's usually more in the idea stage, whereas in the page, we see there's an actual person possessing the sword there, right? So to me, that represents someone actually taking action toward the idea. So this is going to be for a small percentage of you, but for some of you, you might actually find out that whatever this communication was to be around, you might need to double check, because that communication might have actually come through, but you may not have received it. Or likewise, if you were the person who, sent out some communication, you might want to double check and actually make sure that it went to the right place, So again, with a career thing, right? Maybe you were supposed to email one place with your resume and you ended up typing in the address wrong or something like that, right? That's just a super generic example, but it's the first one that came to mind. Maybe you were supposed to reach out to this person from your past if it's a romantic relationship, and maybe you find out, oh, wait, actually, I sent it to their old number or something like that. Something weird like that, where, because for me to see this here and then see the ace show up in the challenge position, to me says that whatever this dynamic was, it might have been that the message wasn't received. So definitely try to double check into that, whoever you guys were going to be on the receiving end. Make sure you check your spam folders and your emails, for example, things along those lines. Or if you're the one sending, make sure that you had the address right, whatever the case may be, phone number, All right. In the present position, we have the Two of Wands. So to me, this points to there's a definite readiness on your part to actually start towards something new, to have that fresh energy come in. You guys, basically through the entire month of May, will have Mars in your sign. So that could be what lights that spark for you, because this is Aries energy, just like the Four of Wands. And of course, Aries is ruled by Mars. So maybe this is pointing to the fact that as Mars moves through your sign, you might feel that fire lit under you in some way. But yeah, usually this is an energy of fresh starts and some success there too. In the near future position, we have the Four of Cups, which is Cancer energy, so that's you guys, and we have the Knight of Pentacles, which is Virgo energy, which is your third house communication. So seeing these two come up together, this could be around what I was saying, where, maybe you guys have been waiting for that right offer, right? Waiting for some communication to come through, as far as maybe in your relationships or in your career. And maybe just feeling like the right offer hadn't come through for you guys with the Knight of Pentacles. To me, this is saying if that's the case, if you're feeling like that's the case, that's fine. You could trust that for a bit, because the right offer will be making its way to you. Just might get there a little bit slower than you hoped, because the Knight of Pentacles usually does get to their target. They just might take a little bit longer than anticipated. So that's what I'm seeing with that. For some of you, if this is around you communicating to someone, right? Because let's just say a super generic example. There's a person that you have a thing for, but you haven't told them yet. And, you might be getting attention from other people that you're not interested in, right? And just sitting in that disappointment, like, okay, yes, great, that's cool, I'm not interested, right? But then finally taking it into your own hands and saying, okay, you know what, I'm just going to let this person know how I feel. So that could be how it plays out for some of you. But yeah, for the majority of you, I feel like this is more of a finance thing. And like I said, if that's the case, looks like the right offer will be making its way to you, just possibly a little bit slower than you'd hoped. All right. In the position of your influence in the situation, we have the Sun and we have the Eight of Wands. So to me, this shows that you're ready to go. So I really don't think that it's you guys causing a hold up here in whatever the situation is. With that Sun energy, looks like there's some optimism, right? Some bright energy. Again, this could just be pointing to, like I said, having the Mars move through your sign might just be lighting that fire under you guys to take action. And given that for you guys, Sagittarius represents your sixth house of work, daily routine, to me just represents that you guys are definitely ready to roll, whatever this is. So whatever hold up there is, this looks like it's saying that the second that offer comes through, you're ready to roll with it. So, and this could represent you guys taking action toward it too. So given that we see the Five of Pentacles in the foundation position, for example, let's say if you did, you were looking for a job, right? This could just represent you guys throwing your resume out there. Like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to put my best foot forward, give it the effort I need to get to that next step. And with the sun, it looks like you'll be getting some positive recognition there as well. Okay, in the environment position, we have the Five of Swords, which is Aquarius energy, which is your 8th house, and we have the Queen of Cups, which is actually the court card for your sign. So, 8th house is Aquarius. We do see the 8 came up as one of your areas of focus. So, this could just be saying, be careful around your environment. So, for example, if there is a job that you're trying to apply for, something along those lines, right? Just be mindful that, there might be some people in your environment that might try to take that opportunity from you, right? So you could just casually say it to someone in your office, like, hey, I heard this other office has a similar job to what we do, but they pay better, so, right? So you might not think much of it. You might just mention it to them and they'll be like, oh, wow, that's cool. And then they might try to actually run out and get that job and take it from under you. So the reason why I say that is just thinking about the fact that she has that closed off cup. So to me, that could just be saying if there's something that you value, something you want to go for, you might want to actually, share it with as few people as possible right now, because there could be someone who might try to undermine that. Another super generic way this could be playing out too is, let's say if this is around a one-to-one connection, right? This could just be saying, you might not want to put out there what your plans are around that too to other people, because there could be some way that they might try to undermine that as well, even if they just blatantly give you bad advice because they have their own ulterior motives, So could just be saying in that regard, you might want to keep things to yourself, as opposed to, we see that sun, vibrant, outgoing energy. If there's something you truly know you want, that you really want, you might want to keep that under wraps for the time being until you actually get it. I don't think it's going to be a major issue, but at least that might be a good way to go about it. Especially keeping in mind the fact that toward the end of May, we're going to have a Mercury retrograde in Gemini, which is your 12th house. So, you might not be seeing the situation clearly, and then you might slip up and say the wrong thing, and someone, might have, again, some ulterior motives around hearing that news and trying to get in the way of it. In the hopes or fears position, we have the King of Wands, which is Leo energy, and the Ace of Cups. So yeah, for some of you, this can actually just represent some kind of leveling up within your careers. This is just a hope, though, so keep that in mind. It's not a definite sign that it will play out. But yeah, it could just be saying that maybe you're hoping for something that you have an emotional connection to as well. So, for example, let's say you have a job now where financially it might be fine, but you might feel like it just doesn't really resonate with you on an emotional level. And it could just be saying if that's the case, you're actually going to get an offer in the near future that actually does blend both of those things, that you have that emotional connection to, but also is, it'll bring you that financial stability, right? Because we all have things we're passionate about, but they won't necessarily pay the bills all the time. So I feel like this is saying you might actually find something that could bring you a bit of both. All right, and in the outcome position, we have the Moon and the 10 of Cups. So this is Pisces energy here. And the Moon, technically, a lot of tarot readers say this is Pisces energy as well. But for me, I always think about the fact that the Moon is actually what you guys are ruled by. So I view this as a lot of Cancerian energy too. But seeing these two things together, could just be saying again, I feel like there's something coming your way, you just may not see it yet. So to me, that's what that 10 of Cups underneath the Moon could be saying, that, this happiness, fulfillment that we also see with the with the 4 of Wands. I feel like it's definitely going to be headed your way. You might not see it just yet. And if that's the case, just pay attention to the lunar cycles too. What are we going to have? We're going to have the new moon in Taurus in around the middle of May, and that's actually going to make a supportive aspect with the. I'm trying to think what that transit is actually. Hold on, let me look real quick. Okay, that's what I was thinking of. So during that basically around the exact same time as that new moon, there's going to be a supportive aspect between Uranus in Taurus, which is your 11th house, and Mars in your sign. So that could be when that sudden insight might come to you guys. So definitely be on the lookout for that new moon in Taurus. And then toward the end of the month, we'll have a full moon in Sagittarius. So keep an eye out for that too. Especially given that that is for you guys, that it will be your sixth house of work, daily routine. So you might hear some news around that time too. All right. Oh, and at the bottom of the deck, we have the Fool. So again, same energy I was feeling there. Where it looks like you guys, and with the Two of Wands, looks like you guys are ready to roll. So like I said, it could be some kind of delay, something that's holding you up right now. Once you get that green light, it looks like you'll be ready to go. So I'm not too worried about that. I feel like the main message here is to just, telling you to try to stay a little bit patient. What's on its way to you will be there. Just might take a little longer than you're hoping. All right. Moving on to the Oracle cards, we have To Be Fair. There's the artwork, and the number is 38. All right, so let's see what we got. Okay, it says balance, justice, a need to consider options, mutual benefit, the law of cause and effect. The Oracle's message: life offers experiences that are challenging and experiences that are nourishing, yet over time they strike a balance. You move from being, from stasis, to doing, from discovering, to loving, to letting go, to being again. Life is a pendulum swinging between all of these states. You will always oscillate back and forth between doing and being. If you are not content with where you are at this moment, remember that all experiences have their place. Accept them without judgment, and you will see how the universe adjusts in perfect balance. You reap what you sow. For every cause, there is an effect. Wondrous things will be revealed now. So an interesting message there as far as when it said if you are not content with where you are at this moment, it made me think of possibly that Four of Cups energy, right? Where, like I said, you might be getting offers, but they're not quite the one you're hoping for. So maybe it's, trying to teach you a little bit of patience there, but hopefully that resonated. The relationship message says, can you find a way to achieve fairness right now? This is a time for listening as well as speaking, for understanding as well as asking to be understood. There is much to be learned, and you will learn it if you remain open and objective, weighing options and considering all sides. Your heart wants to connect to others, so allow for a balanced exchange of ideas and actions. The best kind of relationship is one in which there is mutual benefit and each party feels heard, valued, and respected. Be fair to all. So, interesting message there. Like I said, I didn't get a huge one-to-one relationship vibe here, but I will say, like I said, for some of you, there might have been a falling out already around the situation. Like I said, maybe there was a lost message in there somewhere, so definitely double check that, and hopefully that resonated with you. And the prosperity message says, now is the time for even exchanges. Justice will prevail, and you will be treated accordingly. In all your affairs, you will be able to negotiate fair settlements. Mutual gain is the gift to you and your partners and colleagues. This is also a good time to square your finances and take stock of how you're compensated for your work. This card signifies balance, justice, and negotiations, so remember that all things must be fairly recompensed. Keep this as your truth, and so it will be. So definitely an interesting message there, and kind of goes along with what I was saying. Like I said, maybe for some of you, you've been hoping for some kind of a promotion or a raise, right? And could just be a matter of you haven't officially heard the word yet, but it looks like that is in the works for you guys. So hopefully that resonated too. And finally, we have Mudra cards. So the Mudra that you guys got this month is the Mushtika Mudra. There it is there. The keyword for it is selflessness. And there's the info on it if you want to pause it or take a screenshot. But under benefits, it says weakens ego grasping and self-defeating habits, awakens enlightened attitude and a heart of compassion, reduces anxiety and self-doubt, calms the spirit, clears the mind, benefits the heart and vascular system. So if that sounds like something you think will be beneficial for you guys, we'll put the name of the Mudra in the description video as always. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you guys next month. All right, bye.